pricing and any.
Yep. Okay. I want to make you a co-host, and then you can then host this. Where you go. So with Glenn Painter from Before You Bid. So yeah, take it away.
Wonderful. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
I'll just quickly share my screen here. Let me move what I might do is just actually move my face away so I can.
Actually, I might need to give you that. I need to actually exit before you do that. Otherwise, people will see my screen instead. I'll stop my share.
Okay. Can you see my screen or okay at the moment?
Yeah, I can see the screen. Yes.
Okay,
Chat.
wonderful.
Chat.
Okay, team, thank you for giving us the opportunity. Before You Bid, what do we do? So we are a tech platform, a national tech platform that enables you, the agent, to be able to order building and pest and strata reports affordable for both your vendor and your buyers. So we empower the property enthusiast to make affordable, informed decisions seamlessly. We do have partners that we're partnered with down the bottom there that you can see. Whoops. I don't know why I can't move that. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get all my toggles out of the way. So Domain we partnered with last year on a national basis. So it's a great opportunity for us to be partnered with Domain. And what that basically means is that every single listing that you, the agent, have for sale will have the opportunity for a buyer to purchase a strata report or a building and pest report via your property on Domain website. Realtair and Real Time Agent, they're also another partner that we integrate with if they are at the listing stage, they wanting to incorporate the marketing costs for the building and pest or strata. They can do that at the sign off of the agency agreement. InfoTrack and Props. I'm not sure whether you've heard of Props teams, but that's basically another digital platform where buyers now can send you, the agent, an offer through the Props system. Any questions on that?
No, at the moment.
Okay, awesome.
Home of property.
So we exist to make the pain points free, team. So in the old days, obviously, and still today, vendors would probably say no to get a building and pest report. It was always left up to the buyers to do. So what we're seeing is a transition change for that. Agents are now starting to get, you'll see the 4 points here. So agents are starting to get reports now up front from their vendors. And what that's doing, it's mitigating risk for the vendor and the agent when they're selling the property. So when the inspector comes out to do a building and pest report, if there are any issues that can be fixed, the vendor's got an opportunity to do that prior to it going live to the campaign. The owner then too, there's a benefit there for the owner where the owner doesn't have to open up multiple times for different inspectors from buyers. They've got the report available once, the inspector's out there once, and that's it. So it's really helping the owner as well, not having to open up multiple times for different building and pest inspectors. The buyer now is able to have the contract of sale, the building and pest, or the strata report at the first open for inspection or the second open for inspection, depending on when they come through. They're able to give that information to their solicitor and then make that executive decision to come back and make you, the agent, the offer. So it's just streamlining the process for them. With the inspector as well, we qualify inspectors to come onto our platform. So we don't actually own the inspectors. We work with inspectors nationally and they come onto our platform to do the work on behalf of us. They're all qualified and insured. So what it's doing here is just making those pain points free for everybody. So we are a national business. So we are in WA, South Australia, and obviously the Eastern Seaboard. And last year we sold over 97,000 reports and 85% of that was driven by you, the agent. So what we're seeing is a big transition of agents now getting these reports at the start of the listing, opposed to putting the property on the market and then a buyer may, get a report after the fact. But are you seeing more buyers, and depending on what state you're in, asking the agent if they've got a report available?
Report.
Yeah.
I'm new agent. I think I might not be the right person to answer the question. Manny, are you there? Maybe you answer this question.
Yeah.
Many need
Yeah,
unmute.
sorry about that. Yeah, what was the question, Glenn?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm just saying, are you seeing buyers when they're coming through your open for inspections that they're actually asking you, the agent, do you have a building and pest or a strata report available?
Well, yeah, normally if they ask that, actually I have one now that they asked that, but I asked this to the strata and the strata provides that one.
Yeah, so you're saying that the solicitor is getting the strata reports for the buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
certainly. So look, that is definitely still the case, but what we're seeing is a massive shift away from that because the reports are a lot more affordable for the buyers to purchase. So I'll actually show you that shortly. So the advantages of getting reports done up front, is anyone on the Zoom actually getting reports up front for their listings? No?
I'm
Okay.
not in the position at the moment. Maybe you can ask a Shave. I think Shave. He just popped in.
No, I don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, certainly. Okay. So look, what we're seeing on the Eastern Seaboard, and it's also happening in WA and South Australia now, we've got 2 BDMs over there, where we're seeing a massive shift with the agents and obviously all the buyers. So what the agents are doing now, they're actually asking the vendor at the signing of the listing, we recommend that you get a building and pest report or a strata report done. And what that's doing, the advantages of that is number one that you see there is mitigating risk for the vendor and also the agent. So what I mean by that is that if you're getting a building and pest report or a strata report done at the start of the listing, if it's a house and there's major issues, it could be termites, it could be rising damp, the owner's got an opportunity to fix that before it goes to market. Or if they don't, that's okay too. But what it does is it helps you as the agent then price point that property into the market. It's also identifying serious buyers. So when a buyer does purchase a report, you get notified. So it's actually showing that they are committed and they're actually interested in the property and they want to make you an offer. What that's also doing is installing buyer confidence because you're providing, as an agent, you're providing all that information that they need to make that executive decision to then come back and make you an offer. Point number 4 is avoiding delays. So as we would all know, most of us are all on commission based only, and we're waiting for that offer. We're wanting to exchange on that contract as quick as possible. So avoiding delays, what I mean by that is that if you've got that building and pest report available, here, Mr. Buyer, here's the contract, here's the building and pest report. They give it to their solicitor. They then can come back and make you an offer within a short amount of time. And I think too, if we've got agents online here that sell a lot of units, having units available, having a strata report available for units really shortens that delay because sometimes it can take a week for a buyer to get back to you with a strata report and they won't put a deposit down on that property until they've got a strata report. So that's just avoiding the delays for you. Any questions on that?
Sorry, no question as a newbie.
No, that's okay. I'll move forward.
One day I will ask you a lot of questions.
That's okay. So that sort of rolls into the buyer journey. So the buyer journey now, and it's changing, they are in a position where they would go out and spend, $2,500 on a building and pest report and miss out 4 times, 5 times before they actually purchase a property. So it's a lot of money outlaid that a buyer's outlaying and missing out on a property, where using the Before You Bid platform, you can see here that they're saving a lot of money. So even if they do miss out, their cost to them that they have lost is a lot less. You can see down the bottom there, the old traditional way, they'd be spending $2,500 and using the Before You Bid platform where the buyer's able to purchase a report more affordable, they're only paying $745 in those scenarios. So you can see the buyer journey has shifted where they're saying, look, I'm not going to go and pay $500 for a building and pest report when I can pay $59 and still get the same report. BYB is now available on Domain, like I mentioned to you earlier, so I won't touch on that too much, but it's a great opportunity. It highlights your listing where the property will have a building and pest or a strata report available if the vendor has contributed to that, or if the vendor hasn't, it'll still be available there for the buyer to come and purchase a building and pest or a strata report directly from the button on the domain website. So it's just once again providing a great service and making it streamlined for the buyers to get the information that they need to make an offer back to you. Real-time agent. So this is just, I mentioned that before, I won't touch on that, but that's just a glass agency agreement where the vendor signs off the marketing campaign and the before you bid reports are incorporated in that.
Real-time agent.
Is anybody using that at the moment?
No.
No. Okay. So we can talk about that in more detail if you're interested. So the booking process, how does this all work, guys? So basically we give you access to a portal. You're sitting with a vendor, the vendor's agreed to get a building and pest or a strata report. You come back to your portal, you put the vendor's information in and you hit submit on the order. The vendor will then pay the cost with their credit card. Once that happens, you'll also get a link letter and a QR code that you can utilize, 1 to send to your buyers and 2 to have it the open for inspection where they can hit the QR code to purchase that report. Every time a buyer does purchase a report, you as an agent get notified. So it's a great opportunity when that happens. You're pre-qualifying, you know who's actually interested in your property. So you don't have to sift through, you might have had 50 buyers through your property and you've got to call them all to see who's interested. If they buy a report, they're actually telling you. So once again, great streamlining and qualifying buyers for you with having that system in place.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is an app, is a software, right?
Yeah, we're a tech platform, 100%. So we give you access to a portal where you can have all this information. Correct.
Okay, so this is, you already made the deal with Oxbridge, so we are the agent, we can access this, am I right?
100%. So what I would do is I'll be setting you guys up and you'll have a link where you log in and create your password. And I'll show you that very shortly.
Okay, at which stage? Again, I apologize, I'm newbie, ask Cindy.
No, that's okay, totally understand.
Thank you for your tolerance, okay? So at which stage in the whole sale process we need this app?
100%. So good question. What you would do is at the listing stage, that's when you'd be getting it signed off on. So what a lot of agents are doing is we're at the listing stage and they've got the marketing campaign for the vendor. They're saying, okay, look, it's going to cost you $5,000 for the intent. It's going to cost you $200 for the brochures. Then there would be a cost in there for the building and pest or the strata report. And they would sign off and agree and say, yep, we're happy to do that. So to answer your question, yep, at the start of the listing.
Thank you.
Okay, so keeping you competitive. So what we do, BYB, we reward the agents for high report downloads and identifying the successful buyer. So what that basically means is that the more reports that the vendors agree to get up front with you, and obviously buyers are going to purchase that report. What we've done is gone, in the past, it was just a set price and it didn't matter how many reports the agent had sold. There was no reward for the agent for doing that. So what we've done is we've gone onto what we call a shared cost platform, and there's a percentage, a successful buyer percentage. So if you get up to around about 70% successful buyer rate, and that'll happen pretty quickly over time, it makes the report costing, so the vendor contribution cost and the buyer contribution cost, more affordable. You can manipulate the pricing. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
So we also do pool certifications in the Eastern Seaboard, and we are looking at them over in WA and South Australia as well. So if you have a pool that needs to be certified, and what I mean by that is it's just that obviously needs a certificate. It's a compliance certificate. We do that at a one-off cost of $295, and if they had to return of $190. Is there any questions on that? Do you know what I mean by a pool certification?
Yeah, I know that. I used to have the pool.
Wonderful. Any questions so far?
Not from me. I don't know anyone else.
We've got Chris. I'm going to admit Chris. Has Chris just joined us? I think he might have. So link due diligence to your online listing. So what this basically means is that on your Oxbridge website, where you've got the property for sale, we can add a little building and pest or strata button to your property. So when a buyer requests a building and pest or strata report, they can just click on the little button on your website that'll come to our website where they can purchase the report. So it's just, once again, saving you, the agent, time of having to send out, building and pest or strata reports. It's there available, and you can spend your time more, wisely with just doing appraisals and listings. So it takes away that administration work from you if that's needed. So that's just a great opportunity that can happen on your website. Now, this one here is automated PM leads. So this is a great opportunity if you have a rent roll within your business. And I know a lot of you are individual agents with your own businesses, but if you have a team and a rent roll, what happens here is that every time a buyer purchases a strata report or a building a pest report from before you bid that you guys have engaged the vendor to get, they tell us who they are. So they'll tell us whether they're a first home buyer, an investor, a conveyancer. Now, if they're an investor, what we do with those leads is we will then funnel them back to your property management BDM, where they are able then to have a chat with the investor and say, hey, look, congratulations, you purchased the property. Would you like to see what we can offer you under our banner? Or if the buyer, which is an investor, has purchased that report, but didn't buy the home, they can still have a conversation with them and let them know what they can offer from a property management perspective. They may not be happy with their current provider, their landlord, so they might want a different opinion. What do you charge, etc. So it's just a great opportunity for your business to build your rent roll. BYB Assist, this is awesome. I spoke to Paul about this and he really liked it. So we are integrating with Eagle, because I know you guys use Eagle as a CRM system. So how this works, team, is when you're at the open for inspection and you're taking names and numbers in your iPad, that'll automatically go back to your Eagle CRM system. An hour after the buyer has left your open for inspection, they will receive a white labeled SMS. So it's obviously where you see Efficient Property on the phone there, it'll have Oxbridge Real Estate or Oxbridge. So the buyer's able to identify, okay, it's come from a real estate. And that gets SMS to the buyer an hour after the open. They're then able to click on that link from their SMS, which opens up to 4 relative questions to the property. Now, we've done a survey on this and the buyers have said, this is all we want to know. This is all what we want from the property. So when they click on it, it opens up. First question that gets asked is, would they like a contract of sale? And if they do, that'll be automatically emailed out to the buyer and you will get notified that it has been taken. The next question is, would they like a strata report or a building and pest report, depending on the property? And if they do, they will come to our website where they pay for that report. Now, if a vendor hasn't contributed to the cost of the report, the buyer still is able to purchase a building and pest or strata report, but it will be at the full cost. And I'll talk to you about that shortly. The next question is, does the buyer need finance? Yes, they do. They've got that question. We can send them a broker. The last question is, do they need an appraisal on their property? This is a great one for agents. We all want more appraisals because that turns into listings. So with this questionnaire, team, it doesn't take away the fact that you don't have to call the buyers on a Monday or a Tuesday. Yes, you do. But what it does do is it's pre-qualifying that buyer for you before you actually have to speak to them. So on a Saturday or a Sunday, the buyer receives this information. They take what they like. You as the agent get notified on the Saturday or Sunday, and you may have had, say, hypothetical, had 30 people through one open for inspection. 5 buyers have paid for the building and pest report. They've taken a contract. So instantly, before you do the callback, hey, I've got 5 genuine buyers that are interested in this property. So it's just a great way of streamlining your processes, freeing up your time, and giving you great quality information. Does that make sense? Any questions on that, team?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have I run a Mind Power Mastery coaching business. I know what you talk about, the automation.
Yes.
So the question is, to connect what you offer, do we need to use a Zapier, the third-party software, to connect with?
No, all we connect with is Eagle CRM system. So before your BYB Assist will connect to your Eagle CRM system, and that will automatically send out this white label questionnaire to your buyers.
So you are saying, we don't need a third-party software, right?
Correct. No, 100%. You just need the Eagle CRM system. And I was speaking to Paul on Monday or Tuesday about that. Eagle want to work with us, given us the clearance. We are now working with the 2 IT teams to then be able to connect with the Eagle CRM.
The second question, does this function with the mobile message also connect with the email?
It only goes through via SMS.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so what it's doing is you can think of, if you're at the open for inspection and the buyer asks, you know, can I have a contract or can I have a building and pest report? Okay. What the buyer dialogue is, sorry, the vendor dialogue is that we will send you an SMS an hour after the open for inspection, and that's when they receive this questionnaire. Okay, now what you'll see on the first page and the last page is that the agent's face and details are there. So the buyer that's actually looking and requesting this information will be able to see the agent that of concern that's selling that property.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now, BYB investors, if we've got any Victorian agents online or especially property management team online, this is a great opportunity. Down in Victoria, obviously there is a what we call a minimum standard rental requirement, where it's obviously an independent checklist. And I'm not sure, does anyone use Property Me or Property Tree for that?
No, I don't do it.
No, okay. So this is purely for rental. If you've got a rental business as well, and you're getting those minimum rental standards. So we also provide that. And so the product offering there is for BYB investors, is that a checklist, so what happens is that when a person's obviously going to rent the property, the landlord has to provide a checklist, a 2-page checklist audit on the condition of the apartment or the house. So you can see the costings there. If it's apartment, it's $249, a house $299, and the report plus a checklist, which is more comprehensive, is $399 and $499. Yeah, $449. So I can talk about that offline a bit more, but that's another product offering that we have available for investors through your PM team.
Sorry, I just saw the price.
Yes.
So what is this?
So this is for the cost for getting a minimum rental standard checklist. If you've got, so what happens in Victoria, and this is only for Victoria at the moment, when a landlord has got a property for rent, they have to have a minimum checklist where it complies. So they're saying that things like the fire smoke detectors are working, the gas is all compliant, it's all working. So when that tenant moves into that property, there's a checklist to say it complies, it's all above board. Does that make sense?
Okay, I got it. So what kind of features for this app will not apply for Oxbridge agent?
Yes, certainly. So with the BYB investor, it may not apply. And correct me if I'm wrong, most of the agents are all independent?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this BYB investor thing probably won't comply. What will comply is obviously the BYB Assist questionnaire and ordering the reports through our portal. So all this is free to team. There is no cost to utilize this. So it's a great opportunity to jump on board and order these reports for your vendors. Okay. Any questions before I show you the pricing structures?
You mean the pricing?
The pricing for to order building and pest and strata reports.
So are you saying we still, as a user from Oxbridge, we still need to pay you money?
No, you don't need to pay us money at all. It's all free for Oxbridge to use. I'm talking about the cost to the vendor and the buyer to purchase.
Okay. Yeah. But they pay you, not us.
Correct. The vendor purchases or pays us.
Got it.
Wonderful.
So we need to persuade them to pay this one.
So what I'll do now is I'll show you the actual, let me back out of that. I'll show you how you order a report and the pricing structure. So we'll try and keep it simple. So let me share my screen again.
So basically, we use your software for free, but meanwhile, your charge point is from our clients. Yeah. So we.
Yes, correct. The vendor
That's
will,
a very good good model.
yeah, 100%.
We sell for you. We get free. We sell for you.
Yeah, but we provide you this platform all for free.
Yeah. I get it. I like that.
It's great. So what we can see here is what we call the dashboard that you'll get access to. So I've just logged into Office 881, which is George's account.
By the way, sorry, interrupt. We get the commission if they sign up.
Well, look, no, you don't.
Okay, sorry, I'm thinking. Sorry for my silly question again.
What we do is we offer you this platform, and there's a lot of tech advantages to obviously to utilize. But yeah, no, unfortunately not. No.
Okay. No worries. I know where I stand. Okay, so I know my position, what I can do, what cannot do, what I can expect, what cannot expect. You know.
Wonderful. So what we do, team, is we provide you with a portal, which you can see right here. Now, when you are sitting with the vendor and you've said to the vendor, look, we recommend that you get a building and pest report or a strata report at the start of the campaign. If they agree, it's as simple as you, the agent, going up in the top right-hand corner here where it says order report, and you click on the order report button. Now that'll open up and it'll ask you for the property address. So I'm just going to put in any address. So 20 Smith Street in Chatswood, that's here in Sydney. It will now ask, is the property going to auction, yes or no? If it's yes, you can put in the date. If it's no, it's no. And then you go next. Here is where you'll see the three options that you require. Now, if you require a building and pest, you tick it. If you require a strata, you tick it. If you require a building and pest and a pool, you can tick both at the same time. So I'll just untick that. Why is it not unticking? There we go. Just say we wanted to select the building and pest report by itself. We do that, and then we go next. So what you'll see here is we can assign inspectors to your platform. So depending on the state you're in, we have inspectors that will be able to assign to the platform, and the pricing structure is according to the inspectors. So in this case here, you can see Dominic from FF Building Inspections. He charges $4.95 for a building a pest. And you'll see that you've got two options here, the shared cost platform, which all agents are using. So when the vendor says to you, how much is the report? Going to cost the vendor $99. Now, there is no second charge to the vendor. So you as an agent don't have to worry about any of that. So and what I mean by that is if the property doesn't sell, or if a buyer doesn't purchase the report, there is no second charge to the vendor. It is just $99. Now, the buyer is able to purchase that report for $109. And if they are successful in purchasing the property, they pay another $350. Now, you as an agent don't have to worry about any of that because we look after all the costings. We look after all taking the $350 from credit cards. You don't have to worry about any of that. We do that behind the scenes. Now, a buyer can't come back to you and say, hey, look, I wasn't told that there was a $350 charge if I was successful in buying that property. They do because they agree to those terms and conditions before they pay their $109. Does that make sense?
Yes, I do have a question here.
Yes.
So this is do we have to introduce, we have to introduce to them, but doesn't mean they were going to buy. However, from the portal, you have their database, which means you will have a team to talk to them, to sell to them. Am I right?
No, we don't sell to anybody. This is purely a platform for you, the agent, to utilize.
Okay, so you are saying we are the only one who need to sell to them.
Yes, correct. So what you will do is when you're sitting with the vendor and you've signed up the listing, you'll say to the vendor, look, we recommend you get a building and pest report. The vendor is going to say how much, and you're going to say it's going to cost you $99.
Well, what if they say no?
If they say no, that's okay. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh.
So what you're doing is you're offering a service to your vendor saying, this is why you're choosing me as the agent. This is why you want me to sell your property, because I add points of difference to help you sell your property quickly and get the best possible price. So, but to answer your question, if the vendor doesn't want to go ahead with the report, then they don't have to do that either. This is just a service that is offering to your vendor to make the whole process of selling seamless for you, the vendor and the buyer.
Oh, sorry.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Sorry.
That's okay. Now, so that's the shared cost. Now, if the vendor wanted to pay for the report outright, you'll see on the right-hand side here, it's $445. The vendor pays for that report outright, and you can hand that report out to buyers for free. A lot of agents are saying, no, I want the shared cost platform, because when a buyer is paying $109, that tells me that they're interested in the property.
Okay.
Now, with this pricing team, we can individually structure that. This is just an example. So we can structure the pricing according to the inspector and obviously according to your state. So because every agent's in different states. So I can talk to you about that and we can run through the pricing individually together. But this is just as an example. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then from here, you just go next on the order. It'll ask you, who should the inspector contact to gain access to the property to do the building and pest report? So you can choose the selling agent or the vendor, and then you put the vendor's details in. If it's you, you just go next. It selects here who the selling agent is. So in this case, it's George. Then we go next. And the last part is the payment. So here you've got an opportunity as the agent to pay that $99 on behalf of the vendor and work it back into your marketing campaign. Now, I highly recommend that you get the vendors to pay for it. Now, when you do that, you just click on the vendor, you put in the vendor's first name, surname, email, and phone number, and then hit submit order. Now, when you hit that order, submit order, that email will go to the vendor with a link on it for the vendor to pay the $99. So you as the agent don't have to worry about chasing money, credit card details. We look all after that for you. So that's as simple as placing an order, team. Any questions on that?
Not from me.
I have one, please, Glenn. Say, for example, you have 10 interested buyers and they all purchase a report. Obviously, there's only one successful buyer.
Yes, Chris.
What happens to the other ones? They get refunded?
No, so that's where we make our money, Chris, because if you have a look at, we still pay, because we pay the inspector up front, right? So as you saw before, the inspector cost was $495.
Yep.
So what we do, we're taking that calculated risk. If no one was to buy the report, then obviously we've lost money. We've obviously still got to pay the inspector. So to answer your question, if there was 5 buyers that purchased, paid $100, there's only going to be one that's successful. The other 4 we make that $100. So yeah.
Yeah, no, just curious. I wasn't sure if it was because I joined late. I wasn't sure if it was just for the buyer and the vendor splitting it to make things a bit easier, or if it was so
it's a good question. So yes, it is the vendor and the buyer splitting the cost. Now, in saying that, with this agent here, it's at $99. Now you can, I'll quickly show you in the back end how this all works. You can actually increase the cost to the vendor, which reduces the cost to the buyer. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if I go into, where's it gone? Sorry, guys. So if you have a look at the platform here, so this is what we call the shared cost platform. So you can see here that it's at 99 and 99, but what we can do is we can increase that to say one, or just do 159. You can now see the buyer contribution is $69 with a $415 successful buyer charge. Or you can do 149 and it'll make it 79. So what we've done here by enabling the shared cost platform is making the prices more flexible for the vendor and the buyer. But what you want to do, and agents are doing, is making it affordable for the buyer to purchase that report at $79, because you'll get more interested in the property, you'll get more bidders, and ultimately you'll get a better price for it. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
So we can manipulate this, per office or per agent when we're talking about pricing and setting them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, 100%. So on that too, team, we also provide you a flyer, and that can be used in your listing kits, and you can email it to the vendor. So it'll have the pricing for the vendor. So just to say, argument's sake, this was $99. The vendor would have the flyer, would say $99 and $99 to the buyer. So the vendor knows what they're paying up front. So we provide that for you as well. So any questions? I've been yapping for a fair bit. Any questions on this, team? It's all free to use. Love for you to jump on the platform, and we can all get you up and running.
Yeah, no question. Great. I love that.
Wonderful. It's Mindy, isn't it? Wonderful. Any questions, Steve? I've got Mind and I've got Manny on, and who else? I've got Chris and Shiv.
Yeah, I'm Chris. All
Yeah.
good. No questions from Chris.
Yeah.
All good, Glenn, all good.
Awesome, team. Well, look, obviously great to have you all on board. And look, I'm your personal BDM. So if you've got once we start setting your account up, I'll touch base with you. We also have BDMs in each state. So what I'll also do is introduce you to the BDM in the states nationally. As I mentioned, we're obviously a national business. So you can build a relationship with them, but I'll set you all up and obviously help you and understand how you order the reports. But here to help with anything if you've got any questions.
Yeah, so we will get all the access from Paul. Paul, I think the support team will send us email, I guess.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So I'll have a chat to Paul on how he wants to set all this up and integrate it. And then what I'll do is I'll send an email to everybody, and you've got my details, and also introduce you to the BDMs in each state.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, team. Is there any questions before we go?
Not from me, but I would like to say thank you for everyone for being patient with me, newbies, and I appreciate your support.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All good. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. Thank you.
Talk soon. Thank you much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.